Well, let's start off with the trust module. Okay, let me ask you this question and think about this very carefully. How do people trust you? Any answer to that? Well, I do have an answer. Okay, now there are three components to trust, and before I tell you these three components to trust, let me just tell you one thing, that stress and trust are related to each other. My definition of stress is that stress is a proof of lack of trust either in yourself or in others. Applies totally to leadership development. Okay. Now coming back to trust, how do you become, as a leader, how do you become trustworthy? And when I say as a leader, I even say that as a parent. How do you become trustworthy? There are these three components. These three components are called ethos, pathos, and logos. Ethos, and it's a Greek concept actually. Ethos is the credibility of the leader in the eyes of the employees, credibility of a parent in the eyes of the child. Yeah, because if I don't find my leader to be credible, obviously there's going to be a trust deficit. I will not go to that leader when I have any difficulty that I'm facing. Again, the same thing with parents. Yeah. Now you can divide credibility or ethos further down into two parts. One is competency and second is character. You understand what is competency? It's the capability of that person to do, that task. And the results. So competency is capability and results. And character includes integrity and intent, right? Now, let's say that your leader says to you someday that you should be loyal to this company. And his own resume is on one of the job portals. Obviously, he's not walking the talk, which means integrity is a problem. If integrity is a problem, character is a problem. If character is a problem, ethos is a problem. And ethos means trust is a problem. Okay, so that's credibility for you. Okay, intent, again, what is intent? What is your intention of running this team? Okay, and if you have some ill intent, then obviously, and if your team members find that out, let's say, like simple example, you have a problem with one person in the team, and you go about asking about that person to other team members, and let's say these team members go and talk to that employee that the boss was talking about you. What is that person going to feel? The person that you have a problem with is going to feel, what was my boss's intention? Why was he bitching about me with all these other people? There you go. Intent. He is talking about intent. That's why your character is crushed. Hence again, credibility, ethos is crushed, trust is crushed. Yeah. Now the second pillar in trust is, so one is ethos, second one is pathos. Pathos is rapport. Rapport means the connect, that emotional connect that you have with your people. I would like that my boss should talk to me, that my boss should connect with me at different levels. It's not always work. You should be sharing a cup of tea with them or coffee with them. You should be having some lunches with them. You should have some casual talk with them so that they feel that, my leader is in all areas of life person. Yeah, so that's rapport, pathos for you. And third is logos. Now what is logos? Logos is logic. Okay. Let's say as an employee, I have a problem, I have a difficulty. I go to my boss and my boss is about to give me the solution. But by the way, as a leader, you should never give ready-made solutions to your employees. You should push them in the right direction so that they find the solutions for themselves. Why? Because when they find solutions for themselves, they are automatically empowered and they feel proud of you as well because you push them in the right direction. So let's say, logically, if you push them in the right direction and they find an answer for themselves, they are going to be very happy with you, isn't it? So these are the three pillars of trust. Okay, so leadership has these three pillars: trust, empowerment, engagement, and trust has three pillars: ethos, pathos, and logos. You know what? I'll give you an example of how some people start smoking just because of this part, ethos, pathos, and logos. You want to hear this? It's actually very simple. Well, most of the times, I know that people start smoking when there are other people around them, their friends are around them. Now, when it comes to friends, there's emotional connect, so there's pathos. You definitely know that your friends are credible. You always have that definition that what is appropriate for you and what is not appropriate for you. You would not go out with certain people who you think are inappropriate for you. So obviously, in your eyes, your friends are credible. Yeah. And then last part is the logic part, which is the wavelength. Yeah. The choices are similar. All of you probably like the same kind of movies. Yeah. So that's the wavelength, the logic part. Now somebody, what happens over there? There are these friends, all of them are smoking. There's this one non-smoker who's about to start smoking, and somebody hands over a cigarette to this person. Okay, and then the person asks, "Why do you guys smoke?" And then they give their logic. What is their logic? And okay, there's a lot of stress, a lot of pressure, little bit of drag, just helps us relax a little bit. Let me first tell you one. Smoking is injurious to health. I don't endorse smoking. But yeah, I mean, because it's coming from a credible friend and you have that emotional connect, and because that logic also matches your logic. What is the logic? That even I have stress in my life. So let me just try it and let me check if the stress is going. That's how people start smoking. It happens because of ethos, pathos, and logos. Okay, but don't use it to spread smoking. Okay, use it to build that trust amongst people, right?